Good evening. It's Thursday. Well, it's any day. Doesn't matter. Lockdown days don't mean anything. Jon Savage, what's your poison? Another episode of this pretty insane podcast where I just like to sit with people that I really admire and drink whiskey. Great. And this time we're brought to you by Whiskey Brothers, who are an amazing place and they give us whiskey to taste as part of the show. Other than that, I just do this for shits and giggles. Tonight, I'm very excited to be bringing on probably the most prolific comedian of the lockdown era, Schalk Bezuidenhout. He's going to be joining us in about 2 minutes. And, as usual, I've given this absolutely no thought. I sent a WhatsApp message. He said, okay. I think part of the beauty of this show is the premise of it. And the premise is drink whiskey, talk shit, no time limit, no nothing. That's pretty much it. And so I'm constantly surprised that people agree to be on this show. Coming up, I'm not going to tell you. There are some really unbelievable people coming. I've got 5 weeks of shows booked ahead. And, I do want to, no, I'm not going to tell you shit. Screw that. So, Skulk's coming on any minute now. I'm just going to send him this link and he will be joining us. So I don't know if you, what I'm going to ask you is the podcast is up on Spotify and iTunes and YouTube. You can go and look at all the episodes that are out so far. And they keep on sort of racking up. And we've got 5 incredible weeks already booked. I'm excited. And so is, let's see. How are you guys this Thursday night? I know we normally do these on Fridays, but Skulk's got a busy schedule. I mean, who has a busy schedule in lockdown? I'll tell you who. Schalk. Oh, did I press record on the audio? I did. That's a very good sign. Let's just double check that when Schalk gets on there. And he should be entering an minito. Today's been a very crazy day. And after this particular broadcast, I am Oh, enough of that. Let's see what happens when I do this. It's better like that. Hello.
Hello. Were you hoping for more professional
I think you
image?
No, I think you've followed the brief exactly. Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling good.
Well, it's lovely to have you. Welcome to What's Your Poison?
I am drinking at the moment.
Yes.
Oh, that's the name. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. No, thank you.
No. Well, you can answer that. What are you drinking pre this discussion?
I'm busy with a creation Pinot Noir.
You look like you're doing very well with it.
Yeah, I am. Okay. I wanted to say, no, man, I already started last night, but then I realized I only opened it tonight.
Okay, so before we get started, well, we are started, but what I wanted to do is my cards on the table. This show is my most fun thing that I do because my life is so insane that this show has no fucking agenda. It's just talking to really cool people and getting drunk, and that's all. And that's why it's been so successful. This is like out of all the amazing commercial stuff that I've done in radio, this show is the one that people love the most. Go figure.
John, can I just ask a question? Because I've been racking my brain. You used to sing in a band. That's a bit before my time, but it was when I was in high school. Evolver, right?
Fuck you. It wasn't Evolver, and I say fuck you because Evolver were mortal enemies.
Just remind me of your band.
I was in cassette, right? But fuck Evolver.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
That is like me saying, aren't you? Well, I don't want to do that, but no.
No. Can I'll do it for you. Once I was at a hotel, like we had a gig the night before, and I was dishing up breakfast, and Sorry, the one button broke on this. I can't. Anyway, I was dishing up breakfast, and this one guy comes up to me and he's like, "Dude, I love your comedy. I love it.
Oh,
You're like one of my favorite comedians." And I say, "Oh, shot, man. Thank you so much. I've got like fucking, eggs in my hand." And he goes, "What's your name again? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me your name. Don't tell me your name." And I was like, "Okay, I won't." And then he's like, "Chris Flismus." And I was like, it's either Chris Forrest or John Flismus.
right.
But no, I'm
the
neither.
ultimate combination.
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm neither. And then he said, "Oh my word. Oh my word. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. You the guy with the guitar." And I was like,
Oh, deep fried man.
no.
Is that
Yeah.
you?
Well, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I think at that stage I just went, yeah, I'm the guy with the guitar. Yeah.
You know what my reaction was, one of the things I hated about the thing I learned about being in a band, right? And was I think this is like bringing up a lot of shit for me, right? But I got into this fucking band I was so like laser focused and so into it that it wasn't fun. It was all about being something impossible to be. And so in my mind, I was so competitive with every other band. So like when you say like, "Oh, could you be Evolver?" It immediately triggers this thing like, "Fuck you, fuck Evolver, they're the worst. We're gonna get them." That's why I just like. But I'm much more chilled now. Now I actually have a secret performance thing I do every year. I dress up. It's probably get me crucified in the current environment, but I dress up as a character called Disco Dave with a big afro and a gold lycra suit, head to toe, and high heels, and do Motown music,
Yeah.
unrecognized. And what that has taught me is how to have fun when you do the art, because that was what I didn't do in cassette. I took what I was doing, the art, so seriously that I didn't enjoy doing it. Oh.
That's interesting. I did have a cassette CD though. I will tell you, I did have a cassette CD, but just with the English bands, we weren't as clued up, but like we knew the songs and stuff because we listened to Tux FM, but I wasn't as clued up with the band members. Whereas Folk of Polisikar, I could tell you everything about everyone. I could tell you what year Snake broke his arm and who filled in for him and all that stuff. But the English bands, we weren't so in. Well,
Scott,
we
you've
watched
never seen my
them at the
movie.
show.
I made a
Which
movie
one?
about. It was called Stone Cold Jane Austen. It's a comedy, and it's the film about an English-speaking rock band really wanting to be Folk of Polisikar, and it's Folk of Polisikar in it. Like they're very heavily in it. And
yeah,
it's
but
basically
isn't Rob in it?
Yes, that movie.
Yeah. I know it.
I'm the other guy in it. And
I know, John. I know.
Yeah.
Just because I fucked up Evolver and cassette doesn't mean I have no clue
It wasn't the guy
who
from
you are.
Evolver. It's all good. All right, let's. Okay.
Are you Low Fenter? Am I talking to Low Fenter right now?
That's right. Can I ask you a question about Low Fenter? Surely I'm not alone. You must. You know the Mighty Boosh.
Yes. Yeah, it looks exactly like that guy.
But so does, Cornet and Twaki are the Mighty Boosh. They look the same. They do the same crazy shit. That always boggles my mind that they could be them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My fiance is like the biggest Mighty Boosh fan. I must say, I didn't like grow, or it wasn't sort of a feature in my life really, but I do love Noel Fielding.
Yeah, because Mighty Boosh is cassette and Folk of Polisikar is.
If Mighty Boosh is cassette, then Folk of Polisikar is
so
I don't
wrong
know.
so quick.
Then Folk of Polisikar is probably Ricky Gervais.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah.
Who did you grow up with then? What was your religious comedy icons, Ricky?
No, because like remember, I mean, growing up Afrikaans, it sounds like I grew up like in fucking Oranje, the way I say that. we didn't see English things, but stand-up comedy wasn't really like a thing in the in my growing up environment. Like everyone had the cell phone video of the terrorist, the dead terrorist, Jeff Dunham. Everyone had that
Right.
cell phone video that they sent around that we played on our Blackberries. I kill you. Which, just to be honest, like I didn't really find that funny. But like proper stand-up comics, like Jerry Seinfeld, Dave
Mm,
Chappelle, like Def Jam comedy, I wasn't exposed to that growing up. My biggest comedy influence growing up was Casper de Vries.
mm,
I had like the videos, and he had a sketch show, Casper Rasper, which wasn't stand up, but it was like this amazing comedy because I think before Casper, no one swore on TV
mm,
in Afrikaans.
mm.
He was like the first guy to swear in Afrikaans, and that was like amazing for us. Even though we like discovered him when it was 9, it was even more amazing because I don't know. It's just like growing up, you felt like you part of this like conservative thing community. Your school's quite conservative. Your parents are varying degrees of conservative. Some people have more conservative parents than others, but it's still a conservative environment.
Yeah.
And then there's just this guy that's just like folk voor en achter, and like dressing up as a woman. Half his characters are women. Um, yeah, but also then you go to a live show, which my mom snuck me into from a young age. She would buy tickets at Empress Palace, which was then still Caesars, and she would take me and sneak me into the show and everything. And even though he was so alternative, he was also very
Mm,
commercial because you go to the show, it's like tannies. It's like
yes.
ooms and tannies, like ooms in their check shirt, like almost like the Afrikaans is groot crowd sitting there, and that for me was like amazing. It's not like he had this misfit audience, like he had
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
misfit audience, but he also had the ooms and tannies who loved him because actually deep down every tannie loves a dirty joke and loves a swear word. They just won't admit it.
So let me ask you you know, you're such an anomaly to me. Like what I love about, and I've been watching you for so many years, and I say this with great respect, and just because I'm completely outsider looking in, you just it looks like you stumbled into like superstardom by accident, you know. But and what I
That
why
is the
I ask that
first
is
time someone has that is the first time someone has said that, and I couldn't agree more. Not with the superstardom thing. They stumbled into it. Yeah, no, that is very nice, John. I like that.
but the question that is interesting is that your comedy is so um how do I say it's so cool that it's hard to diagnose. And what I mean by this is that like one of the worst things in the world for me ever was I was a big Eddie Izzard fan, right? Until I saw an interview with him and I was like, this dude is the most boring motherfucker ever. Like I hate listening to that guy do anything except for comedy. And it made me realize like shit, so much work goes into comedy, you know, like you've got to create all this stuff. You've got to create the character, you've got to create the jokes, you've got to do this, blah blah blah. It seems to me that you are who you are. You walk on stage. You are you. Back from the first time I ever saw you, when I see you doing interviews, talk to you, you are throughout this character, inherently funny, inherently in there. How do you approach this thing? Because you're such a natural at it. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't know how I approach it. I just like, I guess, like, fucking do it. Like, I just do it. I just do my thing and hope it gets a laugh every now and then, and sometimes it bombs, but whatever. But like if we can talk about the jersey thing for a second, like
Yeah.
that's why I say the stumbled upon is a very good description for me because um the jersey thing, so many people have said to me, yeah, but surely you don't really wear that. Like that's not, you don't like wearing that. Like obviously you will pack in your jersey
Oh,
because you know you have a
I'm gonna
show
go be.
tonight.
I'm gonna go be Sculpt now. Jersey on. Suit off.
Exactly. Like I leave home in like a sort of blue jeans, plain white t-shirt, whatever, like maybe a warm hoodie. And then before I go on stage, I quickly get into my crazy outfit, you know.
Yeah.
And and actually the interesting thing about the jerseys, and I guess to an extent also the afro and the snore, like people, sorry, the afro is wet. I had a bath because it's so cold at the moment. Like it's the only way I can get warm is just
You
lie
look
in a
you look
super
gorgeous.
warm bath.
I feel like you're intentionally trying to seduce me.
But yeah, so the afro is a bit flat at the moment. But anyway, so the afro and the snort as well, like it's not a choice. It's actually just like how I think I look the best. But I would do this even if I was any job. Like if I was, I don't know, working at a store, like I would grow my hair this length and wear a snort because that is how I like myself to look when I look in the mirror for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the jersey thing, I actually bought a jersey when I went like first year UCT. There was the second-hand market across from my campus, and there was this like bright, colorful Christmas jersey, which I still have to this day. And I remember we went to. Are you in Cape Town or Joburg? You're in Joburg, right?
Cape Town.
Are you in Cape Town?
Yeah.
Is Springbok still open? Well, I haven't lived there, or I haven't gone there in years.
No way. I mean, if I could be wrong, but I'd be very surprised. You mean that place next to the to the stadium there?
Yeah.
No,
yeah, in Newlands. Yeah,
that's gone.
okay.
Surely.
Well, yeah.
I remember
so
it was
this is in
five
2000.
rand a shot when I used to go there.
Well, we didn't go for the shots. So our race, I was at UCT, and our race was called College House, and we had this tradition that you had to go there every year at the beginning of the year. We had to do a night where we go to Springboks on a Thursday and do a double jug. So they sold 2-liter jugs of either cane and cream soda, brandy and coke, or beer, and you had to do 2 jugs. So that's 4 liters of whatever you chose.
Nice.
4 liters of Black Label I had to drink. And anyway, one of those nights I wore this like jersey that I saw, like I wore it out, and then everywhere I was going, people were just like, "Nice jersey, bro." And I was like, "Yeah, it is a nice jersey, and I like it." And then that I started collecting jerseys. But this is actually before I even started stand-up. By the time I started stand-up, I was actually, to my friends or whatever, already the jersey guy. But then, it just became this like, oh, you're the jersey guy, whatever. It's like this gimmick. And the whole time I'm like, it's not a fucking gimmick. It's like actually what I wear to keep warm. And then people will see you in December and they'll be like, where's the jersey? Like, and you're in fucking Umschlanga. And you're like, I wear this to keep warm, man. So this is not what I wear to be funny or to be, I'm not cold at the moment, therefore I'm not wearing a jersey. Like, I don't know. So yeah, stumbled across, but how I do
accidentally
it.
Iconic. You accidentally created an iconic style. You and George Michael.
I guess, yeah, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I don't know how I do what I do. I don't know. Like, I don't really have a process. I kind of just gooi. Yeah.
Surely
I don't
you
know
write
if that's
shit
a
down before you
disappointing
go.
answer.
Surely you craft a show. I mean, what's interesting about what you're saying is the self-awareness from you is like, okay, so I'm doing something funny. I didn't know I was. I know that I'm funny, but people are like seeing something, so now I'm going to turn this into something. Now you know who you are, what you are, and how to sort of turn that into a comedy show. So are you literally going on stage and speaking your mind, or are you crafting things on the way?
Well, yeah, so in a one-man show, I mean, in a one-man show, I follow the kind of standard comedian process, which is also what I love about comedy is you can't really jippo the system, but yet people do. Like, some people just go on stage with an hour without hitting the clubs. But I do it in the standard, like I go to Parker's, I do my 5 minutes, I test it. If it kills, it's almost impossible for me to forget it. Like, if I've done 5 minutes and it like destroys, like that is so ingrained in my mind. So then I've got that 5 minutes. and then you go and you do the next 5 minutes and the next 5 minutes until you can look at a set list and go, okay, there's definitely an hour here. And then you put a one-man, and then you just structure the jokes in an order that it makes sense, and you book dates at theaters and you go on tour. But I mean, but I don't really sit and write, because when I've sat and write, that is like the most forced hack.
It doesn't work.
Comedy.
Doesn't work for you.
Yeah, so my best material comes from, like, especially driving in the car, when you just don't really have an escape. Like, all you can do is look at the car in front of you and not make an accident. And sort of just like being around the house, like sitting in the bath, having a shower.
Well, that's the thing. This is what shows. You know where that shows is that your fucking Instagram shit and your TikTok. I mean, your TikTok. What the fuck? You like dominate in that space because you're able just to turn it on. I mean, I think it's just who you are. It's really awesome because you give off really authentic and positive vibes. It's not an act. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know if you know you're being funny. You must be, because people are throwing money at your face, saying,
"Well, I mean,
give me more."
I won't ever put a video on Instagram if I didn't think it was funny or that people would find it funny. But
let me ask you a question. Do you do a video on Insta and then go, shit, I could have delivered that last line a little bit better, let me do it again? Or do you just go like, oh, that was funny on?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. If I put it on Instagram, like, I leave it up there. If I really like if I'm recording like this and I like, I will think of like, okay, this is sort of, I will think of some things the day before, whatever, and maybe make a note of it. But then when I do the video, I just gooi. If, the videos are like 8-9 minutes long, then if I've left out one thing that I was like, oh shit, that was actually so funny that I thought of yesterday, but I forgot it now, I'm not going to do the whole thing again. But if I like hit a blank in the middle of the video and I'm just like, there's like a bit of a borderline between like authentic and just taking the piss or being unprofessional. So I like authenticity. That's why, like, if I make a mistake, I rather address the mistake that I made and try and make a joke out of it or whatever, or just be like, fuck, and carry on. And I think that is why the videos are doing well. Not because it's me or my comedy. It's because people gravitate towards authenticity. And also now in the lockdown, so many people are doing like these videos which are funny, but it's so heavily edited. And I think we underestimate like the audience's intellect. So when something is so heavily edited, people know like, like even I, who am a fucking accountant or whatever, I can also record 100 hours of shit and I'll find
and make a brilliant funny 10 seconds.
I can make a funny 2 minutes out of this, But if a video is just rolling for 10 minutes without cuts, and that's why people have stand-up, because stand-up has no bells and whistles. Stand-up is like, you can't cheat it. It's like you with a mic, boom, it's your words. If your words aren't funny, if it's not funny coming out of your mouth, it's not funny. There's no like smoke and mirrors and costumes and characters and cock. So that's why I do my videos in that format, because it's like, it's not edited. It's like I have to deliver this thing for 9 minutes straight. The mistakes are the mistakes. If I end up laughing at something I say, which is like lame to laugh at your own jokes, but if I laugh at something that I find funny, then I laugh at it, and then it's real, because then it's something that I thought of in that moment, and I started laughing at it because I was like, fuck, that's quite funny, which is why comedians don't laugh at themselves often on stage, because they've done that joke 100 times. You're not going to laugh at yourself when you've heard the joke.
But don't you do that thing where you pretend to laugh at the joke that you've just said, to pretend that you actually just thought of it now?
Yeah, now you're putting layers on it, but I've seen comedians. Now that you mentioned that, I've seen comedians on stage. They laugh at the joke, and then like backstage or afterwards at the bar, I'll say to them, "Hey, you're still laughing at that joke after 3 years," and they'll just be like, "Shut the fuck up, shut up." They're so embarrassed by it, and I'm like, "Why you laugh?" Because that's like prompting the audience, like, ooh,
Yeah.
I can't keep on laughing because it's so funny. You should also be laughing right
Oh,
now.
nice. Yeah. It's a crutch.
Yeah.
How have you dealt? I spoke to Aaron right before the lockdown, and you hadn't done your first sort of webinar yet, and I know that there seemed to be a lot of fear, not just from you, from all comedians, about doing a show in front of an audience that you couldn't see or hear, respond to. But you have seemed to have absolutely like flown in that space. How did you find? How have you found it? What is different? What has changed? And has it changed anything on your side?
Yeah, I mean it's opened, in the words of the Aladdin movie, Disney movie, a whole new world. It's like, if you told me before, like, this is the amazing thing about the lockdown. I know every time we speak about the lockdown, it's like doom and gloom, and it is for a lot of people. Like, there's some people, some of my own family members, that tell me their situations, and I'm like, I honestly can't give you one silver lining of what you just told me. It's cock. It's cock.
Right.
It's cock. It's cock. But it's not like that for everyone. Like, for me, there's been a lot of cock things. Like, there
Hmm.
was live shows that were going to be a good income that I was really looking forward to, that would have been great for me, that got cancelled. But for example, the live online thing, I'm so grateful for, because, like, if like, why would I ever do a show with no audience, with no faces, no laughs, in front of my laptop, if I had the option of going on stage? I would just
Right.
say, like, no thanks, I'll rather go on stage. Always I would choose that. But only because I literally did not have the option. It was literally illegal to do that option. I was like, well, fuck. Maybe also because I had a new show. The first live online show we did, Skulks and Slack, we managed to do one live show on the 14th of March. And that was our first one. And it was so lacquer. And it was this new concept. Well, not a new concept. It's the first time I did that concept, which was singing funny songs.
Yeah.
Um, and it was like the most nervous I've been for a show in a long time, because I was like, you know, whose shoes are you trying to fill? Adam Sandler, Flight of the
Mm.
Conchords, who do it so
Mm.
brilliantly, so it's easy to be so shit at it. So, and the show was so lacquer. And then the next evening, Cyril announced the restrictions, and then soon after that, the lockdown. So I guess it was also just like, I really wanted to share the show with people, and also, yeah, I don't know, I guess I always just have an attitude of, like, these things are often more low risk than we think. Like, if something's cock, people are going to forget about it almost instantly. That's
It's
why I
just your
tell people,
ego. Your ego's at stake.
just put
Yeah.
content on Instagram, because if an Instagram video is cock, myself and you probably scrolled past 10 things today that is
Well,
cock.
way
But
more
we
cock.
just
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just scrolled on, because as soon as you even smell that something's cock, you're like, this is cock, I want to move on. But if something's good, that has so much potential. So
Yeah.
the the effects that a thing can have if it's good is so much more than if it's cock. Like,
Yeah.
so so I was like, let's do it. If it's cock, at the end of the day, it's like 500 people maybe that see a really bad show of yours. I mean, they will be really, really petty if they, like, then disown you or never watch something of you ever again because this one thing you did was cocked. Like, whatever,
But you're all the comedians are doing these online shows, but there's something. I mean, other than you being who you are and what you are able to do, you seem to be surfing so well in that space. And what do you think is the magic? What's the different? How have you approached it that might be different? Because
I
everyone I
think
speak
I
to is
think
like skulk, 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 skulk. That's skulk. Look at what skulk did.
I think it was two things, because I had conversations with, like, Rob van Vuren, Alan Committee, Nick Rabinowitz, because I had done it before. So they were, like, doing their first one and asking me, listen, how was it, whatever. So it's two things. I said to everyone, do old material, because it's already nerve-wracking not being able to see or hear the audience. You don't want to be doing material that you have no idea if this is funny or not. You don't want to be,
Right.
you don't, there's so
That's
much
clever.
doubt in your, you don't want to do, um, there's so much doubt in your mind already with a live online show of like, is this even working? Are people enjoying it? So the least you can do for yourself is do material that you've done on stage that destroys. So that when you're saying it, you're like, I know this shit is funny. I've done it in front of people. It's like killed. And then the other thing that the other thing is also just like reading the comments afterwards and trying to, every time you do the new one, trying to remember the previous show's comments, because the only reason I did more was because the feedback was incredible after the first one. It was like such positive feedback. People like, we enjoyed it. And because in my first show, I expressed all my insecurities. In my first show, I said like halfway through, I was like, guys, you could have switched off your laptops by now and I could be fucking talking to myself. I don't know. And afterwards, I got so many messages that was like, bro, we were laughing. Just relax. You must also enjoy it, because we could see you were nervous. You were not enjoying it, but just enjoy it. We were at home loving it. We promise you. So it was also just like a case of remembering that for the next one, and not sort of starting from scratch. Now, only after doing 5 shows of doing my stand-up, I did a new concept where I read fairy tales and then like sort of commented on the fairy tales, did stand-up about it. And that was also in its own way, again, fun vooraf. It was terrifying again, because then I realized what I spoke about earlier, the value of testing material in front of an audience, because I didn't have that at all. Like I did a small online show for like 100 people reading, and most of it was like, oh, it's funny, and someone there was one comment that said, is this a prank? And
shame. That hurts.
yeah, that one hurt. And then I just realized that's why we go to the clubs. You need to get that instant feedback, But then also, like, I announced the first one, fairy tale show. I did it, like, kept it small, didn't advertise the cock out of it, just to get the first one behind me. Looked at the comments afterwards. The comments were all like, loved it, thank you. Then I was like, okay, cool. Now I'll do a second one. I'll do the same show again, and now I'll advertise it. And now I can do it again because, now I know the concept works. But yeah, it's also like you shouldn't the first time. Luckily, also our first Schalk Slag that we did, it was quite small, So you shouldn't be doing a first live online show and be pushing ticket sales, and then you sell the tickets, and now you're like, oh shit, there's 5,000 people watching.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean,
look,
people obviously
I'll
want
tell
to
you
make money in
something.
this time.
This is not a sales pitch, right? I promise you, but I'm just telling you for what you're saying. Busker, the Busker thing.
Yeah.
So this is the beauty of Busker that I still think is unexplored. Busker is not a ticketing system, right? What I've learned, it wasn't intended this way, but it is real-time feedback from fans in the performance. So what happens is, like, when Arno Carstens is playing the chorus of Blue Eyes on his stream, suddenly, like, people are putting in 200 Rand, 500 Rand, 1,000 Rand at that moment. And he's seeing it in real time. He's seeing it come in on a little thing. And what is happening is there is a new relationship forming between the audience and the fan, where the fan only contributes to you or buys your ticket when they are emotionally connected to what's happening in the moment. And the thing that I'm checking out is, like, in the comedy space, there is a space there to test material on an audience and see in real time whether your shit's working or not. And the better it is, you'll see, because people pay when they are in the moment, when they feel something. Like, what happens in Busker is if someone comes up and goes, here's fucking knocking on heaven's door, knocking on heaven's door. Nobody gives a shit. But when they make a mistake or do something that connects, suddenly the contributions start coming in, and the amounts determine on how much they feel in that particular moment. And that's quite an interesting thing that I'm watching unfold. And yeah, just that again. Didn't say that as a sales pitch. I was responding to what you were saying. Is that there
Yeah,
seems to be a space to play with that. But anyway, don't.
yeah. You see, I would get so distracted then because then when I'm moving on to the next joke, I'll just be like watching the mounts come in, and now I can't even focus on the next thing because I'm like, oh wow, people like that previous one. Oh, but I know the next one is not as good at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is you're right. That is a very interesting thing. It's a worth exploring thing. Can I just quickly show you my
You
dog?
don't have to just say that. Yeah. Oh, what is that? What is that? A human or a Oh,
There's a
oh my God.
person. I
Who
just
is
wanted to show
that?
you because he's sleeping so cute next to me, and I
He's
was
getting
like,
no
oh, it'd
airtime.
be a sin not to show it.
What's
His
his
name's Otis.
Otis? My God, beautiful dog. I miss my dogs. Both of mine passed away last year. I had two big,
I
like
know.
Alsatian Huskies. I've had them for like 13 years, and yeah, I miss having dogs, but I
That's
don't
wrong,
want
yeah.
another one, which is blasphemous for now. I just want to not have dogs for a while. Because you know what the problem with having dogs is I never went anywhere. So I was fucking worried about my dogs.
Yeah, that is a thing like that my fiance and I have been discussing a lot. It's like when it's very convenient now, actually, because it's in the lockdown, things aren't open, but we just like when things go back to normal and we want to go away for a weekend
What a
or
mission.
we
You got
want
to
to just
find
go for
someone
dinner.
to come and hang out at your house and look after your dogs. What a bitch.
Yeah, you'll have to, yeah, because like I'm so hectic about this dog now. Like
Mm,
I wouldn't like actually want to. I wouldn't enjoy the evening. I wouldn't be able to enjoy my platter at Ocean Basket,
yeah,
knowing he's at someone else's house. Like I
yeah,
would need to know someone's at my house, looking
exactly.
after him there where he's in his space.
Yeah,
Oh my word, no, it's actually
it's a mission.
yeah, it's terrible. I was never a
Listen,
dog person. I was never a dog person
until,
like this. Well, until
was that,
level 5, then we got this puppy like
is that a puppy?
maybe. Well, yeah, he's 6 months. He's six
He's
months old.
huge.
Stop saying that. Everyone's saying he's so huge. Fuck.
And
We
listen,
all
can I
like,
just
how
say,
big is this dog gonna get?
that thing they say about the paws is bullshit. So don't listen to them when they go, "Oh, their paws are so big, they're gonna be a
Oh,
giant."
I'm so glad you said that because that is the most irritating thing. He's gonna
It's
grow
so
into
annoying.
those paws. He's gonna grow into those
Uh,
paws.
this is what I can tell you, Skulk. Dog owners and pregnant people are wrong about everything. Do not listen to those people about babies, children, pregnancy, having a dog, being a dog. None of it is true. The best advice you can ever have is ignore everyone.
I'm just I'm just imagining this like white Tunny from Santimi. Like being a dog is so hard, eh? Trust me. I've been a dog. It's so hard to be a dog. I promise you, being a dog, you won't understand.
Listen, I would like to open that bottle of whiskey with you now because
Yes, please.
I think you're gonna appreciate a lot about it. I mean, this is something really special for you. And the worst part about it was I was supposed to get one at the same time so we could open it together, but mine didn't arrive because of fucking lockdown. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story of that whiskey and why you have it because you will really appreciate this. That is
Okay.
okay. So it comes from the guys at Whiskey Brothers, right? I don't know if you know those guys in they're in Hyde Park Shopping Center. They're like whiskey enthusiasts. Okay, it's called the 12-year-old Trebbiano cask, right? Now, why does the name Trebbiano sound interesting to you? Is there anything that conjures for you?
I don't know. Was he a tenor?
A tenner? No, even better, even better. Right. So this is not available any in the world. The Whiskey Brother guys had this as an exclusive release. They selected it for this show. It's not available anywhere else in the world. It's from a Scottish distillery, but it was bottled on the 7th of June 2018. Only 255 bottles produced, each one individually numbered. And why they said that you might
Oh
like
my
it is
word!
because
It actually says there. It's written, handwritten. 35. I got
35.
35 of 255.
It was matured in a ex bourbon cask, but then in a Italian white wine. Because my question is, um, you only drink wine. How do I give you something that's going to convert you? Now, here's the fun thing: they named it after Joey Tribbiani because they thought that would be funny. So that's why it's
What?
called a. You know, have you never seen Friends?
Oh yes, Joey.
Joey, yeah. So they call it. So it's actually the name Tribbiano is a joke. It's Joey Tribbiani from Friends. They've called it the Tribbiano to make it cool, but it is just
Oh, okay.
literally. It's a piss take, but it is a limited
Okay,
edition,
awesome.
like highly collectible bottle of whiskey, and it was matured in wine barrels, and that's why if I were, my question to them was if I was going to convert Schalk to whiskey, how would I do it? And they sent this. So
Well,
that's
I'm
the
very
story.
excited because I tried to be a whiskey drinker. I've tried a lot of things in my life, John. One of those was that sounds so dodgy, but one of those was whiskey. Another one was smoking. I tried to be a smoker. When I was a student, I desperately wanted to be a smoker.
Mm. Have you tried cigars?
Um,
Because cigars make it
yeah,
very
like
easy.
the cherry cigars from the garage. Yeah,
They're
sure.
just fun. Yeah.
Um,
I'm, I'm so
okay.
jealous because I don't have mine. But I'm eager to get your feedback on that. Was
Okay.
Friends a thing? Have you watched every single episode of Friends at least 4 times, or not really? Not
No,
your
no,
thing.
no. I don't watch anything that many times. Um,
What What are some of the things you tried other than comedy? You made that weird statement,
um,
and I.
so smoking. When I was at
Oh,
drama school, I really just wanted to be one of those students who smoked. It
uh-huh.
just looked so
Mm.
cool, and I bought my own cigarettes for like I don't know. It must have been a few months. I bought Marlboro Gold, and I would stand on campus and just smoke. But this is the thing, and this is why I realized I then actually realized why people smoked at school
Yeah.
is because like when no one's around, it's not actually lacquer to do. If no
Mm.
one's watching you smoke, then you don't really smoke. Then it's like fuck, and then put it out, you know. Okay, it's open.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
another
have to
thing
like it,
was yeah.
but there was a lot of effort went into selecting that for you.
I won't lie to you. I promise. I promise.
Somehow I believe you. And Schalk Bezuidenhout is about to
Okay,
try
well,
Trebbiano whiskey live on. Here we go. And got the.
whew. Yeah, no, it's a different kind of release. It's like it's got a wa- it's got, it's got a weight to it. That's whiskey's got it like a it's got it's a burn. It's a burn, you know. That's why red wine it's easy down the throat. It doesn't make you it
I
doesn't
can't
punch you
drink
in
red
the
wine.
chest.
I try to. I can only
Why?
drink red wine to you. To me, is cigarettes to you. I can
Toy
only
wine.
drink it
Is
when
it toy
someone else
wine?
is. Yeah, all of them. I can only drink them when I'm with somebody else drinking it, and I only do it to make them feel happier about themselves. I can't. Okay, it's obviously it's not for you. Listen, send that fucking thing back to me then, because that
No,
I'm
no, no.
dying to
It's
taste.
nice. No, it's nice. I'm not pulling the spice.
It's
No,
just because it's
actually,
heavy.
promise you, I'm not putting the spice because it's cock. It's just, it's hard liquor. I don't drink hard liquor.
All right.
Red wine is. is wine. I drink wine and beer, which neither of them are hard liquor.
Yeah.
So a hard liquor is obviously a bit more of a. The only hard liquor I drink is like a Fireball. Do you know Fireball?
I'm so eager to find out. What's a fireball? Jägermeister and what?
No. Jägermeister and a fucking Springbok testicle. You know, like people go hunting will make you do shit like that. That
What's a
we light
fireball?
on fire.
Uh,
It's a type of alcohol, but it's not called a fireball. I fucked that up. I think it's called a hellfire. Hellfire. It's a type of. It's like a whiskey-ish kind of. Anyway, it leaves that. Remember those fireballs that you had in school,
oh yes, of course.
the jawbreakers. It
Gobstoppers,
leaves
whatever
that
they call.
aftertaste.
Ah, that's
Yeah, it leaves
horrible.
that aftertaste.
Ugh.
So no, it's nice. So it's like a
What?
sweety taste. So
I can
we
taste it
used to
right
drink.
now while you're saying it. Even like the memory of
Yeah,
it comes like this.
you know Hell's Kitchen in Melville.
Yes.
Um, there and La Santa next door. We used to go Joel. You know, in the good old days before Corona, and have fireballs. Well, I called it fireballs. I'm not. It's not called fireballs. You know when you have something as a child that you just called it that, and then
It's
everyone's
stuck.
like, "What are you talking about?" And it's like, "That's what it's called," and it's like, "No, you just called it Horsey milk. It's called Nesquik or whatever
Yeah.
it is." But yeah, the Hellfire shot. It's nice, but this is similar to Hellfire because it's sweet. It's
Mm.
sweet. It's not that like proper whiskey taste. And I'm not drinking it with ice, which I'm sure you have to do with whiskey.
And it's probably not cold either. I put mine in the freezer. I put my whiskey in the freezer, and it's just the best thing. They don't need ice. Your face, it's beautiful.
Do you? I won't ever be able to drink this without pulling a face. Like even if I try, look, like I'm really gonna try
No, no.
now.
I'm
Take a sip
yeah,
without pulling
I'm
a
gonna
face.
judge you on this one. So don't perform. You, that was
It's
pretty good.
odd. It's like
No,
it's like I'm awake. I'm awake for the first time in years, John.
that's all I wanted for you tonight. Especially as I want to respect your time as
Woo!
well. You got a big day tomorrow. So I
No,
appreciate
it's
all the
fine,
time
John.
you've
No,
given.
no. We're chatting so lucky now. We can do another 15 minutes if you want.
Yes.
If you
Right
want.
now, I'll ask the
Also, people don't
serious
want
fucking
to. People
questions.
don't
Now
always.
I've got your rap sheet
Yeah,
here.
please. Yeah, please.
What were you gonna
I'm just
ask?
gonna. I'm gonna go back to the red one if you don't mind.
Okay, that's totally fine. 7 grand
But
down the
I will
toilet.
say, no. This is the no. This is not down the toilet. I will
I'm
have
joking.
this, but like with friends around a fire. Get like at 55.6% alcohol. No wonder.
No, but
12
that's
years
just
old.
normal. Yeah, the whiskey. Whiskey is that. You don't get whiskey that says like 12%. There's no such thing. That's just called beer. Very
They
heavy.
shouldn't put they shouldn't put 12 years old on a bottle of whiskey because it makes you sound really creepy when you say I've got a 12-year-old locked in a cupboard somewhere. Do you want do you want to come over
Wow.
tonight? It's like, no, what?
Nice. Tell me what has been the. Are you back to your happy now? You're back to your happy place.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy.
So, as a seemingly happy-go-lucky career who stumbled into superstardom, what do you think has been the hardest thing in your life or career that has made you who you are? How's that for a question, Oprah Winfrey? That's what comes with not preparing for an interview.
Made me who I am. I don't
Well,
know. Do you know what?
yeah.
Okay. Do you know what's been really hard? And this has only been like the last, I'd say 2 or 3 years. Is
Mm.
when I started, when things started taking off a little bit, and you start getting some traction. There's very, very, very little negative feedback. There's now and then a tweet of someone's like saying, "Why does Why do people find this guy funny? But
You mean right at the
obviously
when
some
you on? Sorry, carry on.
yeah, so when you like doing that first 5 minutes on Comedy Central, and you know, people are saying, tweeting, "Oh my word, there's this new guy, whatever, and he's wearing this crazy like jersey, and he's so funny." And then there's a tweet that will say like, "Oh, I don't get it," or "I don't get why
But you're
people
still
like
the
this person."
underdog. You're still the underdog, and everybody wants the underdog to succeed.
Yes, and then suddenly, so I only hit that in the lockdown. You hit like 100,000 followers, but also with the TV stuff. Like, so we do the show on Kijknet called Die Ware Narheid, which is like basically like an Afrikaans version of the Daily Show. So
Yeah.
it's new satire. You cannot not be opinionated. You
Hmm.
cannot be on a show like that, airy fairy sort of, yeah, this happened, but you have to be like, this happened, this is my opinion, this is why it's cock, or this is why I support this, whatever. So it's like a very strongly opinionated show. Like I said, it's a style of late night satire, John Oliver, Trevor Noah. So yeah, with that obviously comes a lot of like now negative feedback, and I don't want to say like haters, like obviously you get the trolls, but yeah, now with social media as well, like, and that's something I don't deal with well. So
You struggle with
that
the
is,
negative
I think,
criticism. You're a people pleaser,
yeah,
like every good comedian. It's a
I am a
personality
huge
flaw.
people, I am a huge people pleaser. I won't deny that. For me, it's more the psychology of what bothers me is the psychology of like, what if we, this is going to go so deep now, but like, what have we become what has become of us as humans that we feel the need to like, if like to be so heard, like, I'm not saying this
I get
right,
it. But
but
let me
anyway,
ask you.
to
Yeah, let me ask you a
express
question.
your to you to express your dislike for something like that, because it's something that I've never done. And there's lots of comedians, there's lots of singers, there's lots of bands, whatever, that I don't like. And I've never felt the need to go comment on a Facebook status, you guys are cock. Like, I don't know. It's just such a, this the psychology behind it for me is baffling. But I guess that is a silly thing to say because everyone does it on social media.
Well, this
But
is what I was
and
going to
that's
ask
okay.
you. Like, here's maybe a different shift on the same thing. You say you've never done it to someone else, but to a lot of people, where you are, you aren't a person that I will ever meet or know. You are your own thing, right? Have you never seen something like on YouTube and gone, like some guy beating someone else up in the street in New York and gone, oh, you bunch of fucking idiots? Because there, I think what happens is if you're 16 years old and you're on the internet, you don't ever think that the person you're commenting is ever going to see this comment. It's you actually commenting in front of other people. It's like a performance of your own. You're stating something that other people, and I think kids do this a lot, and that's why I think, have you ever done that? You no, you look at him as if I'm being an alien. Like, I don't think
No, no, no,
that
no, no. I'm
it's
trying to
targeted
think.
at
I'm
you.
trying to
It's
honestly.
it's targeted at you never seeing the comment. So the fact that you are a real human being who reads that comment and feels hurt by it was never part of the person's intention. And I'm not saying I'm not. I feel like I'm defending it because I'm the person who does that. I'm not, but I'm always trying to understand both sides of the thing. I'm trying to understand why would someone do that. Not people aren't all cuck. They're just stupid. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, point is, I don't deal with it well as I would like to. That is like the most active thing I work on, is to not engage with it, because you're never gonna win. That is the thing I've learned. Even if you think you have the best, sometimes I'll spend time on it. Like, I'll go, fuck you. I'm gonna actually write the best reply ever to this like
Yeah.
negative comment.
That's
And
revenge.
I will think
Revenge.
about it.
Revenge is a big motivator for comedy. Y-
And I will
Yeah.
think about it for like 2 hours. And I will think of the best comeback. it will get like 100 likes, and people will type there like, Schalk, what a great comment. But then the person who commented in the first place will come back and say something like,
Hey, fuck you.
well, fuck you. Yeah, exactly. Fuck you. Or why don't you tell your mom that? Or whatever. And you're like, oh, why did I engage? Oh, and you just feel
That's
like even
comedy.
more than then you feel like even more of an idiot, because I felt like an idiot when I read this comment that, it makes you feel like an idiot if someone's like, you cock, so I already felt like an idiot. Now I feel like even more of an idiot that I actually like gave this person the time of day. So now I'm sort of
Lose
on
lose.
I'm on the block train of like, just block you. I almost feel like if I block you, I'm doing you
The
a favor.
block train. The block train. That is a brilliant title for your next show. The block
The
train.
block train. The thing is, I feel for some people, honestly, I'm doing them a favor, because it's like you start recognizing names on Facebook. It's like, it's fucking every day it's Johan van Wyk saying you're not funny. And I'm like, but Johan, this is the
You follow
seventh
me.
day in a row that you are watching still my videos. So I'm actually gonna help you help yourself and block you, because you should have blocked me after video 2. You should have blocked me. But I don't know, somehow, some way, you can't do
He
that.
wants
So
to
I
watch
will
your
do it
videos and he
for
wants
you.
to. Yeah.
Some people just like feeling pissed off as well. It's like
It's
it's a thrill being
it's
angry
interesting
about
to
something.
me
I don't know.
that you said it earlier. It actually struck me when you were talking about your first ever show that you trawl through all your comments and you actually read them and you take them as feedback. That's interesting that you are I mean, you
Yeah.
must get so many comments in a day on different things that you're sitting there and taking things personally and actually reading all of those things.
Well, yeah, I'm not like I don't ever want to be deaf to the feedback from from the viewers or the public or whatever you want to call it. Like, if a show's cock and it is really cock, then I need to know. Then I need to go work on it or make it better or throw it away or whatever. And you need to read through those comments to go, what are the majority of people saying?
But
Like,
isn't the trap that one guy says that fucking thing was so he hurts your feelings and now you scraps the whole thing because one person hurt your feelings, or are you literally analytical about what you're getting all this feedback and going, well, I can be super like neutral about this. That guy told me I'm the worst comedian ever because I said this joke. Three people like the joke. I'm gonna weigh it up. Or how are you? Because surely that's a trap. You're in a echo chamber of hell.
no, statistically, I can be quite good, and I can go, obviously, if 1 out of 100 says it was cock, then I can, have the logic to go, okay, this is 1 out of 100, whatever. It's more when, yeah, when people's like, this is offensive, or I don't know, when they're just like, I don't know. It depends how strong you are as a person that day. Everyone has weak days, like everyone, and especially because sometimes people are like trying to drag you out.
Mm.
Sometimes you can see this comment was made
To
just
bait you.
to, exactly, and then you're like,
Mm.
I'm not gonna fall for it, but then you do, and then anyway. The most ridiculous one I had, right, is in. I need to tell you the story because this is just how entitled people are. And I don't want this girl to see this because it's going to trigger her, as she said again. But this is like how entitled people are, right? So I get this DM, I think it was on Instagram, and I made a video in sitting in my car where I sang Blink 182 one day, and it was like in the lockdown. And part of the video was talking about how, if you're like that, my mom packed my lunchbox every day with peanut butter and syrup sandwiches, and then eventually, like now in my adult life, I cannot eat peanut butter and syrup because I had such an overload of it. And then I used an example of if you, a lot of people now, if the first alcohol that you got drunk on was, for example, cane and cream soda, you can't drink that now
That's
because you
peach
feel,
schnapps. Jeez, what the? Can't even say the words
yeah,
without.
yeah, you feel like you're going to throw up. So I get this message saying, it starts with like, hey, Schalk, I mean this with like the best of intentions or whatever, but I want you to be aware of this so that you don't make the same mistake again or
Oh,
something
jeez,
like,
this is
so
making
you
me ill.
don't,
This story already.
so you don't do this again. So I'm already like, whoa, fuck, what did I say? Like I'm already going through the video again in my head, going like, what? I really didn't think it was there was no topic I touched on. It's not like I touched on race, religion, all the standard things that could make people go off, you know. Anyway, so she says that, um, you know, there was one part of your video that was very hectic for me to hear. And then she said triggering, in fact, like it, she used the word trigger. And that was when I said that cane and cream soda could make you quartz because she has a condition where the idea of throwing up or even just hearing about throwing up,
Makes it throw up.
like it's like well, it's like a phobia. It's like a phobia. She's got a phobia of hearing. Sorry, she's got a phobia of hearing the words throw up or anything that resembles it. And she's like,
I don't
and
know
I
what to
was
do with
like,
this.
and I was like, with, you know, and I think I just replied and said, I will consider it in the future. But I was like, how, what percentage of, not of my followers, not of the people who watch this video,
Of the
of the world,
world.
have this? Okay, let's take it to the video. Like, let's say the video got 40,000 views. I think it's safe to say she was the only viewer that has this super rare phobia. Yet, she wants me to, with
Change your
every
set.
piece of content I make, I need to now have this in the back of my mind, reconsider every piece of content because of this like super rare phobia. It was
Let me
just
ask
like,
you a
that was,
question. Does a day go by when you mention throwing up on stage that you do not think about this girl and it crosses your mind that maybe you shouldn't have said it?
my first instinct now, this would have been the dick move to do, but I would never do this in my life. But I thought this would be the funniest, but also most dick thing to do. You know, on Instagram you can send a voice note now. It's like quite a new thing. So I thought, how much would this girl freak out if I leave her a voice note of 5 seconds? And she's like, oh my word, you know, wow, he replied, you know, let me hear what this voice note says. And then all I do on the voice note is I go, I was like, how pissed off with this?
Oh.
Well, firstly, she would like drop her phone and have I don't know, a seizure. But I was like, you know, but obviously I would never do that.
Oh.
But I
You
thought
just did
like
it
just
for the record.
a two a 2 second voice note just going, "Whoa." But yeah, it was. I was just like, wow. But anyway,
Anyway,
um,
Schalk,
yeah.
I just
But I replied and said, listen, I hear you, and it's totally legit what you are saying, and
uh-huh.
I will consider it in the future. Thank you very much. But no, I didn't. I didn't.
Dude, Schalk, it's been such an honor having you on What's Your Poison. I've had such a ball.
Thanks, dude.
I'm such a fan. What you're doing is magic. Like really watching you
Thank
cruise
you.
in this space is so phenomenal. I think you are like a real like comedian's comedian, such a brilliant artist, and I love watching all the ways you spin on your own little path, and just having you on What's Your Poison is really great. So thank you very much for your time. So appreciated.
Thanks,
And
dude.
and I loved it on your voice note to me where you said it's not like you said like I'm happy to do 45 minutes. Not like I'm gonna as the interview as the interview ends, you're gonna those are your exact words. You're like, but I thought that was great. Enjoy your Tribbiano and good
Thanks,
luck on
dude.
your
And
shoot
John,
tomorrow.
can I just say that talking to one of the members of the Polytones was such an honor for me
Okay, now
as
that
well.
now you have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. Ah.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you very much, Kurt Skunrad, and that's the end of the. Take care. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.